right. Welcome, everybody, to Behind the Lines for March 2023. Springtime.
Amen. Pollen's out.
Yes, it is.
Storms are out.
Storms are out. Red buds are popping. That's what I like about this time of year most of all. That 2 weeks when those red buds are just out there.
Yeah.
I don't know why I enjoy that, but I love riding up down the highway looking at those red buds.
It's beautiful. When things have been dead and dormant for a while, it's beautiful to see God's work again.
That's right. But yes, with storms come the pollen. I mean, with spring comes the pollen and the storms.
And they both wreak havoc on me, us. My allergies are bad, and then we have to work longer hours.
Yeah, so in March, early March, on the 3rd, that Friday, recently, we had some fairly significant outage.
Yes, speaking of working longer hours, and let me start off with this. We have great employees at 4 County and 4 County FASTnet. For those of you that recall, Friday, March the 3rd, the storms came through mid-morning. And when it first happened, we had about 6,000 people without power, if that's correct, John.
That's right.
And we worked that day and into the night and started back the next morning and finally restored power to everybody midday Saturday.
Yeah, that was one of those outages where it was very difficult, one of those storm events, because we had so many, literally hundreds of outages, but they were all, I think it was an average of like 8 or 9 people per outage.
Yeah, when you have a big swath of wind and rain come through our entire system, remember we're a big system, we're in parts of 9 counties, you can get a lot of people's power back on real quick, especially if it's a whole substation and you have to put on switch gear or add transformers. But when it's the onesies and twosies, right, 8 here on this road, 5 on this road, because of the trees and wind damage, it takes a lot of time.
It sure does, because when you get finished, you've got to travel to the next one and they get started. So those are those events that we dread seeing more than the big dams, because big dams can be picked back up pretty quick and fixed. And a lot of folks turn back on, but this just takes time, and that's why it's one of those unfortunate events. It doesn't happen very often.
No.
But we had to leave folks out overnight.
Yes, well, and it's what we do, right? It's almost a beautiful scene to see the staff working, because they do such a good job of doing what they do, and the pride that they get when they turn somebody's lights back on, who the power's been out for a while. We've all been there. You know what it's like when you don't have power and it comes back on. You think, thank goodness.
Right.
So those men and women who are out in the field get to experience that firsthand, and they're doing a great job. I will say, from the fiber standpoint, the broadband side, we did have a couple of folks that were out until Sunday. We had to do a lot of splicing. Typically, when storms, the fiber's held up well. Yeah. In this case, we had some large trees who fell on the fiber and broke the fiber, and we had to do a lot of splicing on this one. So thank you for being patient with us, working through this storm. Remember, springs, especially April for some reason, are usually pretty hard on us. We're right in that alley of either tornadoes or strong wind and storm. But whatever the case is, we're ready to respond. We have the equipment and staff necessary. So just reach out to us if you have any issues. We're coming.
That's right. And speaking of FASTnet and fiber, we're celebrating a huge milestone this month.
Amen, John. Tell them.
10,000 customers.
Amen. Golly, but I think we were talking a while ago about that the days are long and the years are fast.
Yeah.
And I remember we were trying to make the decision to get into broadband, and here we are, fast forward 2.5 years later, and we've hooked up over 10,000 customers.
Well, I think what that says about us is it may take us a while to get to that decision, but boy, once we get in, we're all in.
Amen.
And it's been a ride.
It has been. We've learned. We went from knowing absolutely nothing about fiber to we know a whole lot now.
Not as much as we will at the end of this, but we know a whole bunch more than we did when we got started.
It's kind of like restoring power too, though, John. I talked about the men and women in the field and the pride they take. I don't know, you probably feel it from the marketing and communication standpoint, but there's a lot of people who love this service.
That's right.
And it's hands down better than what they had before, and a lot of them would not have had quality internet without us.
That's right. And we all know, we're not going to belabor the point, that internet connectivity, broadband service is just about as important as electricity anymore for the way we live our lives. And so to see, we've just recently opened up the Prairie phase, and to see those folks lining up, because they had nothing out there.
That's right.
And they are just, I mean, I think we've got 30, we've been open, about almost a month, and we've got 30% of the folks who could take the service out there already have it, and we've got more
blowing and going
every day. That's right. And we're still hooking up people in all our other phases too.
Yes.
So
And it's still growing in all of them.
That's
I
right.
think, when we started Montpelier, we're not far from 55%.
no, we are. We have more than half of the folks in that phase have signed up for the service and coming in every day.
Yeah, I was talking to a gentleman yesterday. He said his daughter from London's coming to stay with him. And mainly she's coming because she can work from his house.
Nice. That's good. And all of that makes life better for all of us.
Yes.
Improves our quality of life, and that's what we're all about here.
Yes, sir.
So we'll be celebrating Miss Ada Doss and her 10,000th as our 10,000th
Congratulations.
customer. She's a nice lady from Prairie. She's
Prairie.
east of 45. So excited about that. And, of course, we had 10 days to 10K.
Yes, so we had 9 winners.
That's right. We had 9 randomly chose current customers, and they all won a free month's FASTnet service.
Yeah, what did Miss Ada get?
She got a bunch of stuff. She got a big old smart TV and a lot of tech to go along with it. So we're very excited.
Congratulations, Miss Ada.
So, yep. And so we're opening up South Macon soon.
Yes.
That's our next step. And then we'll be headed into Sturgis and on into Choctaw County.
In the next few months, basically one a month. So we're having a kickoff event in South Macon next week, and then about 4 weeks later we're going to do Sturgis.
That's right.
And
So
then,
if you're in those areas, and then pretty much as about every 4 weeks we'll be opening up a new phase. We will mail you information if you're in those phases about kickoff events that we're going to hold, so you can come out and sign up or ask us questions. We'll teach you a little bit about what to do with the new service, and we'll also post that on social media, and I'm sure we'll talk about it quite a bit.
We would love to hear from you too.
That's right.
We would love to know how this has impacted your life, right? If this has allowed you to live life better or do something you couldn't do before, let us know.
That's right.
And if there's anything we can do to improve, let us know.
You should get surveys as you get the service. We will survey you right away to find out how this process went, and then we'll send you one 6 months to a year later to kind of find out how everything's going. But yes, please let us know. And if it has impacted your life, we would love to talk to you about that.
And we're glad we can serve you. I think that's a beautiful part of what we do, John. Not every business can say this, and not every employee in the job they're in. But I really feel like everything we do has such added value to our communities, whether it's restoring power, providing power, restoring or providing broadband, and then the 4 County Foundation.
That's right.
You feel it more than anybody from the marketing standpoint. But we do a great job for our communities.
It is.
Thank you for your work.
Well,
John.
I appreciate it. And thank you for your leadership in letting us do these things. We had a great day. Our executive staff went out recently and worked on a Habitat for Humanity house.
Yes, we put some shingles on the roof, and I'll be honest, I was sore the next day.
Used a few muscles I hadn't used in a while.
I did, so I need to do that more often.
But that's good. We are going to actually double down on our community investment for years, and we'll talk about that in upcoming weeks. But we're excited about that. We're going to be out and about and even more community improvement stuff. So excited. And then finally, our annual meeting's coming up in June.
It is. The biggest takeaway on that is we're moving locations
That's
slightly.
Right.
So you want to tell us?
Yeah, we are actually moving down the road. So we have been at the EMCC Mayhew campus in their Lyceum. They've graciously hosted us for decades there. It's been great, but they're undergoing some growing pains. They're doing some construction. So we are moving just to the east on that frontage road to the EMCC Communiversity.
Yes, nice, beautiful location. Looking forward to having it there. So come join us on June 1st if you're a member of 4 County. We'd love to have you. We're going to give away some prizes that day as well. So put it on your calendars. We'll see you then.
All right. And I think that about does it for a short month, shorter podcast. Yep. I'm sure that's not going to be too much problem with most folks. So.
Nope. And always, behind the camera is David Kilpatrick. He makes it happen from a video standpoint. Thank you, David, for your work. And y'all have a great day, and God bless.